have a seat. We're making a habit of this. Good afternoon. Before we begin, I'd like to say a few words about the necessary steps taken today to help avoid a collapse of our auto industry that would have had devastating consequences for our economy and our workers. With the short-term assistance provided by this package, the auto companies must bring all their stakeholders together, including labor, dealers, creditors, and suppliers, to make the hard choices necessary to achieve long-term viability. The auto companies must not squander this chance to reform bad management practices and begin the long-term restructuring that is absolutely necessary to save this critical industry and the millions of American jobs that depend on it, while also creating the fuel-efficient cars of tomorrow. And whenever I've been asked how I measure the strength of the American economy, my answer is simple: jobs and wages. I know we will be headed in the right direction again when we are creating jobs instead of losing them, and when Americans are gaining ground in terms of their incomes instead of treading water or falling behind. In recent weeks, I've announced members of my economic team who will help us make progress in these areas. Today, I'm announcing several other appointees who will play an integral role in our efforts to turn our economy around. Congresswoman Hilda Solis as Secretary of Labor, former Congressman Ray LaHood as Secretary of Transportation, Karen Mills as Administrator of the Small Business Administration, and Mayor Ron Kirk as United States Trade Representative. Together, with the appointees I've already announced, these leaders will help craft a 21st century economic recovery plan with the goal of creating 2.5 million new jobs and strengthening our economy for the future. If jobs and incomes are our yardstick, then the success of the American worker is key to the success of the American economy. For the past 8 years, the Department of Labor has not lived up to its role, either as an advocate for hardworking families or as an arbiter of fairness in relations between labor and management. That will change when Hilda Solis is Secretary of Labor. Under her leadership, I am confident that the Department of Labor will once again stand up for working families. I'm confident about that because Hilda has always been an advocate for everyday people. When she received an award several years ago, she said, "Fighting for what is just is not always popular, but it is necessary." And that's exactly what she's done throughout her career, blazing new trails every step of the way. Whether it's creating green jobs that pay well and can't be outsourced, or expanding access to affordable health care, or raising the minimum wage in California, Hilda has been a champion of our middle class. And I know that Hilda will show the same kind of leadership and vision as Secretary of Labor that she showed in California and on the Education and Labor Committee by protecting workers' rights, from organizing to collective bargaining, from keeping our workplaces safe to making our unions strong. Standing up for our workers means putting them back to work and fueling economic growth. Our economy boomed in the 20th century when President Eisenhower remade the American landscape by building the interstate highway system. Now we need to remake our transportation system for the 21st century. Doing so will not only help meet our energy challenges by building more efficient cars, buses, and subways, or making Americans safer by rebuilding our crumbling roads and bridges, it will create millions of new jobs in the process. Few understand our infrastructure challenge better than the outstanding public servant that I'm asking to lead the Department of Transportation, Ray LaHood. As Congressman from Illinois, Ray served 6 years on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, leading efforts to modernize our aviation system by renewing our aging airports and ensuring that air traffic controllers were using cutting-edge technology. Throughout his career, Ray has fought to improve mass transit and invest in our highways. But he has not only helped rebuild our landscape, he's helped beautify it by creating opportunities for bikers and runners to enjoy our great outdoors. When I began this appointment process, I said I was committed to finding the best person for the job, regardless of party. Ray's appointment reflects that bipartisan spirit, the spirit we need to reclaim in this country to make progress for the American people, and a spirit that Ray has embodied in all of his years in public service. To strengthen our economy, we must also strengthen the small businesses that are its backbone. I can think of no one better to lead this effort as administrator of the Small Business Administration than Karen Mills. With Karen at the helm, America's small businesses will have a partner in Washington, helping them create jobs and spur growth in communities across this country. A venture capitalist who invests in small businesses, Karen understands the challenges faced by both small businesses owners and the workers they employ. With a background in the private sector and experience helping Maine's governor promote growth across the state, I am confident that Karen will lead an SBA that will not only help small business owners realize their dreams, but help our nation rebuild our economy. We also know that the success of American businesses, small and large, depend on their ability to sell their products across the globe. That's why we must engage in strong, robust trade and open doors for American products. In our global economy, we must compete and win if we are going to strengthen our middle class and forge bonds with other nations that can contribute to peace and stability around the world. But I also believe that any trade agreement we sign must be written not just with the interests of big corporations in mind, but with the interests of our whole nation and our workers at heart. Ron Kirk understands this better than just about anybody. As mayor of Dallas, Ron helped steer one of the world's largest economies. He's seen the promise of trade, but also its pitfalls. And he knows there is nothing inconsistent about standing up for free trade and standing up for American workers. During his tenure as mayor, Ron brought different groups together to create jobs, invest in the community, and spur economic growth. As a leader, negotiator, and principled proponent of trade, Ron will help make sure that any agreement I sign as president protects the right of all workers, promotes the interests of all Americans, strengthens American businesses, and preserves the planet we all share. With these outstanding appointees, I have filled out our economic team and done so at an earlier point than any president in history, because we face challenges unlike any we have faced in generations. Daunting as the challenges we are inheriting may be, I'm convinced that our team and the American people are prepared to meet them. It will take longer than any of us would like, years, not months. It will get worse before it gets better, but it will get better if we are willing to act boldly and swiftly, and that is what we will do when I am President of the United States. With that, I would like to first bring up to the podium Hilda Solis.
I'm humbled and honored to be nominated by President-elect Barack Obama to serve as Secretary of Labor. As a daughter of immigrants raised in La Puente in the San Gabriel Valley, near the beloved East Los Angeles, I learned at a very young age the value of hard work, public service, and commitment to family. That's why I share President-elect Obama's belief in an America where if you work hard, anything is possible. An America that values rewards and hard work. An America where we can both be standing on this stage together here today. But for many Americans, that America is slipping further and further away. As Secretary of Labor, I'll work to strengthen our unions and support every American in our nation's diverse workforce. I look forward to working with President-elect Obama to reinvest in workforce training, build effective pipelines to provide at-risk youth and underserved communities with sustainable skills, and support high-growth industries by training the workers that they need. This includes promoting green-collar jobs. These are jobs that will provide economic security for all working families while securing our energy supply and combating climate change. We must also enforce federal labor laws and strengthen regulations to protect our nation's workers, such as wage and hour laws and rules regarding overtime pay and pay discrimination. Through these and other efforts, we can help strengthen one of America's greatest assets, its labor force. I want to take this opportunity to thank my family, especially my parents, Raul and Juana Solis, and my husband and my sisters and brothers, for all their support over the years. They've always believed in me and have been a source of my strength and teachers of mine in terms of understanding, commitment to justice, equality, and public service. To my extended family, those I have worked alongside in California and in Washington, thank you for your commitment to public service, justice, and for your loyalty. Quisiera tomar esta oportunidad para agradecerle al presidente electo Barack Obama por haberme nominado como secretaria del Departamento del Trabajo de los Estados Unidos. Como hija de inmigrantes, estoy muy honorada por esta oportunidad. También quisiera agradecerle a mi esposo, a mis padres, Raúl y Juana Solís, y a mi familia por todo su apoyo. I thank President-elect Obama, and I look forward to serving as a member of his team. I'd like to now introduce a colleague of mine, Congressman Ray LaHood. I'm proud to have the opportunity to continue to serve with Congressman LaHood. As a grandson of an immigrant and the son of a restaurant manager, he too demonstrated what can be accomplished with hard work. His experience, bipartisan approach to issues, and fair-handed demeanor will be important assets as we work together.
Thank you. Good morning or good afternoon. I'd like to thank President-elect Obama for his confidence in me and his commitment to working across party lines for our country. President-elect Obama and I share the same philosophy on infrastructure. His agenda for the Department of Transportation is my agenda for the Department of Transportation. I have often said that once the election is over, we must put aside our partisan labels and work together for the good of the American people. That is exactly the approach President-elect Obama will take as president, and exactly the approach I will take as Secretary of Transportation. We have a task before us to rebuild America. As a nation, we need to continue to be the world leader in infrastructure development, Amtrak, mass transit, light rail, air travel. And our roads and bridges all play a vital role in our economy and our well-being as a nation. We cannot stand by while our infrastructure ages and crumbles. We must pursue solid policies that allow our states and communities to address their transportation needs. We have a tremendous opportunity before us to rebuild our infrastructure and reinvigorate our economy, and I look forward to the challenge. A hallmark of my career in Congress has been my work with our local and state leaders as we have improved the infrastructure of Illinois. I've served on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee as we reauthorize the federal highway bill. I understand firsthand what good infrastructure and transportation means to communities, and understand it is the local folks who know best their transportation needs. I will bring that same approach to the Department of Transportation. I'd like to thank my family for the continued love and support they've shown me as I pursued my public service career. Kathy, my wife, and I have stood side by side for 41 plus years. She has endured my 30 years of public service, and I'm grateful for her support and the support of my 4 children and 7 grandchildren. Again, thank you, Mr. President-elect, for your trust in me. I look forward to working with our friends on Capitol Hill to advance good transportation legislation, and I plan to engage our governors, mayors, local officials as we move forward. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and move forward. And now, Mr. Ron Kirk.
Well, I am honored and I'm humbled to accept the post of U.S. Trade Representative for this administration. As the mayor of Dallas, I happen to live in one of the most dynamic cities in the world, but it was also in the crosshairs of regional trade and trade for this continent. I've seen both its benefits and its cost, but like the president, I believe that trade can help us create jobs at home and encourage development abroad. And like President-elect Obama, I believe a values-driven trade agenda that stays true to our commitment to America's workers and environmental sustainability is not only consistent with a pro-trade agenda, but it's also necessary for its success. I too have to take this moment and thank my family for their extraordinary love and support, particularly my wife, Matrice, and our 2 daughters, who are making a great sacrifice for me to be able to accept this tremendous honor to serve our country. I look forward to working with my colleagues in the administration to further the message that America is open for business and to promote a progressive pro-trade agenda. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Karen Mills.
Thank you, Ron. And thank you, Mr. President-elect, for your confidence and for this important assignment. Small business is at the heart of the American economy. There are over 6 million small businesses in this country, and they create 70% of the new jobs every quarter. They could be small businesses on Main Street or new green energy startups, but if these companies grow and prosper, jobs are created and America stays competitive. Building and growing a small business has been a defining tradition in America. Many of us are the children of immigrants, men and women who are able to start and grow their own businesses. This is a legacy I'm proud to be a part of and to promote for our future. The Small Business Administration provides an opportunity for the federal government to serve as a partner with small business, to help these businesses access capital and counseling and provide aid in the times of natural disasters. Small business will be an important focus of this administration as we work our way through these difficult economic times and as we grow the economy in the future. America's spirit of entrepreneurship is one of our greatest assets as we compete in this global economy. I'm very pleased to be joining the Obama administration in a role that fosters this entrepreneurial spirit. I want to thank my husband, Barry, and our 3 sons for all their support, as well as the business people of Maine who have inspired me to work in this important area. Thank you.